Picture two co-workers who start the very same job on the very same day for the very same salary. They sit a few desks apart. They earn almost identical paychecks for the next 30 years. Then one of them retires quietly wealthy, free to do whatever he wants with his time. The other reaches the same age, still anxious, still working, still living from one paycheck to the next. Same income, same years, same chances. So what on earth happened in the space between them? It wasn't a secret inheritance. It wasn't a lottery ticket. It wasn't even a bigger salary. It was a handful of small, quiet habits, the kind that almost nobody ever talks about. Not loud, not flashy, nothing you could post online, just repeated, patiently, for decades. And slowly, invisibly, those habits opened a gap so wide it looked like luck from the outside. Here are the 7 habits of the quietly wealthy, and every single one of them is yours to copy. Habit 1. The quietly wealthy spend their money on assets, not on applause. Most people, without ever realizing it, buy things mainly to be seen by other people. A newer car in the driveway, a bigger watch on the wrist, a logo everyone instantly recognizes. But applause fades the second you drive off the lot. The monthly payment somehow sticks around for years. The quietly wealthy ask a very different question before they buy almost anything at all. Will this thing feed me later, or does it just impress a few strangers today? So they steer their money toward things that earn, grow, or pay them back over time. Ownership instead of appearances. Quiet value instead of loud, expensive signals. Take Ronald Reed. He pumped gas and swept floors for most of his long working life. He wore a frayed coat held together with a safety pin. People assumed he had almost nothing. When he died, he left behind nearly $8 million. Almost no one had any idea. He never looked rich, and that was exactly the point. His money was working, not performing. Real wealth is usually the part you never get to see. The car not bought, the label skipped. Habit 2. They pay themselves first and then they make it completely automatic. Most people try to save whatever happens to be left at the very end of the month, but somehow there is never anything left. Life quietly expands to swallow every last dollar. The quietly wealthy simply flip the order around. They take their slice the moment money arrives. Savings come out first. Before rent, before fun, before the cash has any chance to vanish. And here is the part that really matters most. They do not depend on willpower to do it. They automate it. A standing transfer fires on payday before temptation ever enters the room. Think of it as quietly writing a small check to your future self every single month. Willpower is a battery that runs flat by evening. A good system keeps working while you sleep. Habit 3. When their income climbs, their lifestyle stays, surprisingly, almost stubbornly, flat. Most people get a raise and upgrade everything within a month. Bigger place, nicer car, finer taste. Their income goes up, but their spending rises right beside it, step for step. So the gap between what they earn and what they actually keep never really grows. This quiet trap even has a name, lifestyle creep, and it has swallowed countless high earners. The quietly wealthy do something that looks almost boring from the outside. They get the raise, and they keep living roughly the same way they already did. The extra doesn't become a fancier life. It becomes invested money, compounding in the background. Warren Buffett is one of the richest people alive. He still lives in the home he bought in 1958. He could buy any house on earth. He simply decided more square footage was not more life. Habit 4. They think in decades, while most of the world thinks only in paydays. Most people measure money by the week. What is in the account right now until Friday? The quietly wealthy zoom all the way out. They ask what a choice today is worth in 20 years. Because money has a quiet superpower that almost everyone underestimates. Its name is compounding. A modest amount invested and then left completely alone does not just slowly add up. It snowballs. Each year builds on the last until the growth eventually starts feeding itself. The first years feel painfully slow, almost pointless. The later years are where the magic hides, so they happily plant trees whose shade they will not sit under for a very long time. To them, patience isn't a personality trait. It is a strategy, the most profitable one they own. Habit 5. They stay teachable long after almost everyone else has quietly stopped learning. The quietly wealthy treat knowledge the very same way they treat money, as something that compounds. They read constantly, not to sound clever at dinner, but to make slightly better decisions over time. Buffett once said he reads about 500 pages every single day. That is how an edge is built. One good idea, picked up early and actually used, can reshape your entire next 30 years. So they stay curious. They keep asking questions, even when they are supposed to be the expert. They assume the person across the table knows something useful that they themselves do not. The moment you decide you have money fully figured out is the moment it quietly starts to leave. Habit 6. They guard their time and attention like the rare assets they truly are. The world is full of noise promising to make you rich by Friday. They calmly tune it out. The quietly wealthy say no far more often than they ever say yes. No to the hype. No to the hot tip. No to the get-rich-quick scheme that always ends poor. They understand that being busy and being productive are not even close to the same thing. Chasing every shiny new opportunity feels like progress. Usually it is just expensive, exhausting distraction, so they protect their focus fiercely. A calm mind makes far better decisions than a frantic one. While everyone else sprints after the next loud thing, they quietly keep doing the boring thing that works. Habit 7, and maybe the most overlooked of them all. They always keep a margin of safety. The quietly wealthy are never fully exposed. There is always a buffer, a cushion, a way out. They hold what some people call sleep well at night money. Cash with just one job, peace of mind. Most people stretch themselves right to the edge, quietly betting everything will keep going perfectly. But life never moves in a straight line. The job ends. The market drops. The car breaks down. When the storm finally hits, the overstretched are forced to sell, to panic, to start again from zero. The one with a buffer simply waits it out. They sleep while others are forced to act in fear. Room for error is not weakness, and it is certainly not fear. It is the thing that lets you stay in the game long enough for the game to finally reward you. So there they are, 7 quiet habits. Now notice what is not anywhere on that list. No secret, no genius IQ, no lucky timing, nothing you couldn't start doing this very week. Spend on assets, not applause. Pay yourself first. Keep your lifestyle flat when you rise. Think in decades. Stay teachable. Guard your attention. And always keep a margin of safety. Now look back at those 2 co-workers, the ones who started on the very same day. The quiet one never did anything dramatic. He just did these 7 things over and over for years. That is the strange truth about wealth. It is almost never built in one single loud moment. It is built quietly, in small choices, on ordinary days when absolutely nobody is watching. So here is the only question that really matters now. Which of these 7 will you start today? Because information without action is completely worthless. The best time to begin was many years ago. The second best time is right now. Pick one habit and start it before you close this video. If this gave you even one idea worth keeping, subscribe and stay for the next one. The quietly wealthy were never smarter than you. They simply started, and then they never stopped.